Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Sandy if you're new, and I am going to do a little tutorial on how to make a curved spine. A few of you in my one of my most recent videos asked if I would do a tutorial, so here it goes. So this is the book I'm going to add a curved spine to, so you can see this is already in pretty bad shape, so it'll be perfect to use for this project. So once you pick out your book, you can kind of set that aside. We won't need that for a few minutes. But what we're going to use is this file folder. And you could also use just, this is a hanging file folder, but you could also just use a file folder if you want to. The thing that is good about this is it has the scored lines in it, and it kind of helps it already give you that curved feel to it. So when you go to curve it, it'll cooperate pretty easily. If you don't have any file folders, you can also just use some cardstock. That I picked this up at Michael's. I think it's 65-pound weight, I think is what it is. But this will curve as well. And I would glue 2 of these together because you'll still get a nice curve, but it just gives you a little bit more strength. But if you have some thicker cardstock, you might just need to use 1 piece. So just wanted to share that. You don't have to use file folders. Carla was the one that I kind of saw she had used the file folder, so I wanted to give that a try, and I really like it. You'll also want some sort of masking tape or something like that. So the first thing we need to do is cut this down, and then we're going to use our reptile glue, and we'll glue this together. And you'll want to decide on how big a spine you want, and that's how you'll cut this. So I'm going to do 2 inches. And I think that you can, with 2 inches, you can easily put in 3 signatures if you want to. I'm going to do, I think, 2 1/4, just to give me a little more room. And then these you can save. You can use these to make tags out of them. You can just remove this middle piece here, and I don't know, maybe we can think of some other project to use those on, but I can't think of anything at the moment. And then you'll want to, you can either just glue all of this down at once, or you can trim it down first. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue all of it down, because whatever I cut off, I can make like a little tag out of that. So I hope everybody is doing well. I haven't been doing a ton of videos lately. I've just was really busy working on a lot of different projects, and I really wanted to focus on those, and I just kind of wasn't in the mood really to make some videos. And I appreciate all of y'all who commented in my post. You all agree. I'm going to spread this out a little bit. I think I put a little bit too much, but that's okay. Smooth that out. And then we'll press this down. Smush out all the extra glue. And then what I like to do is let this glue dry. So if you're going to be making quite a few of these, then you might want to do this step first, glue them all down, and then put them under some heavy books and let them glue and flatten. So you have a real nice reinforced spine there. It's all nice and flat. Smush that down a little bit more there. All right, get all the extra glue out. You can use your bone folder or an old room key or gift card and push it down really good. All right, so I'm going to go put this under some books, and then we'll come back and we'll do the next step. But you can see already it has a natural curve to it, so that's going to work out great. While we're waiting for the glue to dry, we can trim up our cover a little bit. So I'm just gonna, and if you didn't have a book that was already falling apart, it's pretty easy. You just kind of, especially these older books, you just kind of tear or cut through. And here, I'll show you on the back one. So this is the spine right here. And so you just go up to where the spine and the back cover meet and just kind of cut through it like that. And then I'm going to throw the spine away. Not going to need it. And then the pages, these particular ones were sewn in, and so I just cut through the string. And what's cool is these are still, a lot of them are still in signatures, and so that'll be great for when we go to make the journal. So I'll use some of the pages from this book, and then I'll also add some other pages from my stash. And then I just want to clean this up a little bit. These don't have to be perfect because we're going to cover these up with some fabric. We'll cover the spine up. So these edges will be covered up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Brush all this into the garbage. And then the next thing I like to do, if I haven't already, is just kind of clean up the cover. This one, I might have already cleaned it, but I'll kind of clean it again. But I just grab a baby wipe, and then I'll just spray a little bit of water on there. And then if there's any schmutz, there's a little bit of dirt. Either this one was pretty clean or I already cleaned it. And then the inside, I don't really do, if it's paper, I don't really do anything there. Yeah, there's a little bit of schmutz on here. Some of them will be dirtier than others. And then we need to pick out the fabric for our spine is the next step. I think I have decided on this fabric here. I think that'll be really cute. Because there's a little bit of blue on the cover and some pink. And then you have this orangey yellow. Yeah, I think that'll be cute. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to wait to tear this down, though, until I get the spine attached. All right, I've flattened this, I think, enough. Next, I want to trim it down and then attach it to the front and back cover. Grab my pencil. That's not my pencil. Grab my pencil. And I just eyeball it and make a little mark like that. And I just use my trimmer. If you can cut a straight line, you can use your scissors. And the area that has the score marks, I put that towards the front of the cover. And then that way, that way the bends are at the front. I think it works well. It probably doesn't matter. And then the next thing we want to do is our masking tape. And you want to leave about, I would say, a little bit between a quarter and an eighth spacing between the spine and the covers, because you want it to open and close very easily. And move this up, make sure I'm on camera. And I found that it's good to go ahead and I tear a piece that's bigger than the height of the book, but I tear it off the roll because I feel like I can lay it down without disturbing my spacing easier than if it was still attached to the roll. And then I just push it down, and then I flip it over and check it, and I feel like the spacing is a little too far, so I'm going to peel that up and just move it over a little bit, like that. There. Yeah, I think that's good. So, I mean, it's almost a quarter of an inch, I feel. If I can measure that. Let's see. No, I would say that's an eighth of an inch. Yeah. And it opens and closes just fine. And take your bone folder, kind of press that in. And then I'll take another piece and put this on the inside. And we're going to be covering all of this with fabric, so it will add some more strength. The fabric will. Yeah, that looks good. Perfect. Okay. So then we want to make sure we put this on, and I'm going to flip this upside down since I'm left-handed, just to make it a little bit easier for me. And I just want to trim this. So those are just kind of the loose bits of cover. But just make that look a little bit straighter. And then you line it up as best you can. And then again, I tear this just a little bit bigger than the height. That looks good. Oh, oops. I almost put it on wrong. That's what I get for jabbering. There we go. Let's try that again, shall we? And depending on the design of your cover, some of it might get covered up by the fabric. So you just have to kind of remember that. Keep that in mind. There we go. And just eyeball it. Try to get where it looks fairly even, the amount of spacing as you run down it. Yeah, that's really good. Because you got to factor in the fabric, because the fabric will add a little bit of bulk. So you don't want it to be too small of a gap, and then your journal doesn't open and close smoothly. Okay, and so there we have our cover. Now it's not rounded yet, so what you do is you can just start slowly rounding it, and this just folds really nicely. And you can see that the score side folds a lot easier than the non-score side on the back. But if you just kind of take your time, put your finger, I have my finger back here for support, and then I'm just kind of bending around my finger, and that gives you that curved spine effect. And so then it starts to look like that. So super cute. So we're going to add the fabric though, and you can wait to curve it till after you get your fabric on. But I just wanted to show you real quick. All right, so I like to make sure that the tape is covered up. So I'm going to cut that right about there. Oops, I have stuff up here that I haven't put away yet. So whenever I put my fabric up there, it's dragging it with it. And I don't know if this is tall enough. Oh, it is. Perfect. Okay. So we will just wrap that around. Nice. All right. I want to see what I want showing. So I want to have that there. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue. You can use your reptile glue or whatever glue you like to use. And I am just going to run glue all along the edge of the masking tape. And then all over the spine. And if you don't have one of these file folders with the score marks, the other thing you could do with the cardstock is to just make score marks on the cardstock after you trim it down. And I would do, I think that these look like 1/4 inch spacings. So I would just do some score marks on the cardstock, and that'll probably actually work pretty well. The file folder, these were old file folders in our stash. I had old paperwork in it that we had thrown away a long time ago, but I didn't want to throw the file folders away because we might need them. And by golly, I get to repurpose them for my journals. So that's cool. So I like to spread my Fabri-Tac glue out. I do not like to use my finger. I like to use these, and the glue doesn't stick to this since it's, you know, Teflon, and so it works great. And even if it does stick to it, once it dries, it peels off nice and easy. So I want this blue flower on here, or do I want it at the top? Yeah, maybe I'll put it at the top. And I'll probably put some rickrack down the edge of these. Perfect. Oh, that's really cute. Yeah, I have some yellow rickrack that might look cute. And spreading out the Fabri-Tac glue, you eliminate the chance of having the fabric or the glue show through the fabric. Now this fabric isn't super thin, so that helps. But even with thin fabric, I found if I really smooth the Fabri-Tac glue out well, and then almost kind of wait a few seconds and then put the fabric down, where it's kind of almost starting to set up a little bit. It's not dry, but it's set up. It won't absorb through the fabric and show. So just some little tips there. And I'm sorry my voice sounds so deep, I guess, but I think allergies are getting me. It's been so humid here, and the allergies. The pollens have been really bad. But my voice, it sounds, I don't know if husky is the right word, but it sounds a little lower to me than normal. Right. I just want to say a big welcome to all of my new subscribers, and a big thank you to my longtime subscribers. I can't believe I'm almost to 6,000. I'm so excited. Let me know if I should do like a little fun live party with you guys. That could be fun. And then you can either trim this off or just glue it down. And I think I might trim it just a little bit. I'm going to have a little bit of an overlap, but I'm going to trim it down. Doesn't need to be that far down. And then we'll add some glue here. I'm almost done with that bottle of Fabri-Tac. I have to get my other one out. Nice. And that, my friends, is how you make a curved spine. And I'll usually wait till the end to put my rickrack on. And then look how cute that looks. I mean, so easy. Really, and it's nice. It's not, it's a, you know, a little bit of a soft spine, which is kind of fun, but it opens up just great. Closes just great. So then, yeah, we'll put 3 signatures in here. So I'll do that on the next video because I do want to let this dry. So I'll go through and pick out my some papers from my stash. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. But yeah, you just kind of play around with it. And then if you have like maybe like a rolling pin, or maybe you have a chair that has a rounded back on it, you can just kind of hang it over the rolling pin or hang it over the chair and kind of let it keep that shape right there. And then it just kind of will fully dry in that position. I mean, it's really cool. I like it a lot. I'll have to make one with just the cardstock and compare. So cute. I like, it has, this was Richard Young's little book. And then the pages, I'll also use a few pages from the journal. Like, I'll definitely want to include this little folio in here. They did scribble on it, but I kind of think that adds to the charm, especially if we're going to just junk journal over it. Like, what does it matter? But that's a cute little image. And I love that owl in there. And then, like, so this one, if you have pages that aren't still together, then again, just take your masking tape and you can tape those pages together, and then you're back to having your signature. So I might do that. But yeah, we'll pick some pages out of here. And oh yeah, there's 2 stories in here, and the little boy who found his fortune. I didn't really notice that there were two titles till just now. So I'll have to add a couple pages of this one too. All right, so come back for part 2 where we'll put the pages in, and I'll talk a little bit about how I go about selecting my pages and things like that. And we'll sew in the signatures. But that, my friends, is how easy it is to make a curved spine. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.